To go, start. Kashmir, which was once described by Mahatma Gandhi as an island of secularism in the Indian subcontinent, has been in utter turmoil. The people of Kashmir have been suffering from the terrorist activities for long with no sight in near future to get relief. Hundreds and thousands of innocent people have been killed so far by the Pakistan trained militants. The turmoil in Kashmir has transcended the legislation and legalities of the accession of the state in 1947, and the insurgency is not a phenomena of political dissent or a movement meant to change the government, but it is a jihad, a religious crusade against the non confrontation and conformists. All Pakistani politicians, from the president downward of any party, the state owned electronic media, as well as the print media, as a part of the discrimination and disinformation campaign, speak in religious terms, and the turmoil is called Jihad or Kashmir, and called the terrorists killed in the armed forces action are called jihad and martyrs, and so on. Pakistan still cherishes to get Kashmir merged in its territory. The convert objective of the so called jihad is to complete the unfinished agenda of partition by incorporating the Muslim majority state of Jammu and Kashmir in Pakistan. The two nation theory that Hindus and Muslims constitute separate nations has already failed with the creation of Bangladesh. Moreover, the ethnic and sectarian violence rocking several provinces in Pakistan, and the bare fact that the Muslims living in India are more in number than the Muslims in Pakistan, and so have nullified the said two nation theory, which was born out of political expediency when India got independence. Pakistan has claimed for himself and herself a role in speaking for the Indian Muslims in general and the Kashmiris in particular. It has claimed the right to extend moral and political support to them. Its covert support in terms of providing arms and training to terrorists and sub-services has already been well documented and exposed. Therefore, Pakistan has resorted to killing Hindus systematically while at the same time introducing religious indoctrination and by misusing mosques and other available platforms in a bid to frighten the secular Muslims. As part of unleashing terror under the cover of self determination at the behest of Pakistan, the terrorists have virtually ransacked, liberalized, and libraries in educational institutions and prohibited books which did not conform to their brand of knowledge. No wonder more than 2003 titles were pruned. They included all books of knowledge, militants, paradise lost, GB shows, plays, etc. As part of the drive, the terrorists used their gun power to convert the canteen hall of Kashmir University into a mosque. Classes where theory of evolution was taught were asked to close since it did not conform to the Islamic tenets. So many innocent persons fell prey to the bullets of terrorists in the Kashmir Valley. The victims included prominent educationists and subscribers to secular ideals. Professor Vice Chancellor, Kashmir University, who was kidnapped and shot dead during the holy month of fasting in the Muslim calendar. Premi, a poet who used to take pride in reciting the Quran, PN Hindu, Assistant Director, Information, and a renowned Muslim scholar were among such victims at the hand of the terrorists. The basic reasons to wipe out these scholars is very clear. They were liked by the people. They could see the game and had the courage and conviction to speak out against the evil designs, and hence some of them had to be signed and signaled out for silencing, all in the name of self determination and human rights. In the wake of terrorists' violence, more than 5 lakh families have migrated from strife torn Kashmir Valley and got themselves registered with the government authorities in various districts in Jammu and Kashmir. Among them, 4 lakh 52,000 families were registered at Jammu itself. They included 215 Muslim, Sikh, and Hindu, 131 other families. Since then, a good number of Muslim families have fled away from the Kashmir Valley, and barring a handful numbering not more than 100, no Hindus have been left in Srinagar city. The systematic process of killing the Hindu population began in 1990 when Mr. Tej Krishna, a Hindu, was hanged to death at near Pahalgaon in district of the Kashmir Valley. On 22 April the same year, the body of Jagendra was recovered by the police from in Srinagar city. He was found to have been hanged to death. After 5 days, terrorists intruded in the house of Bharat, another Hindu who was a medical assistant. He was abducted by the terrorists. His body was later found hanging from a tree. The process continued. The list is a long one, and the stories of torture unleashed on the Hindu population are heart-rending. 3 probationary officers of the Life Insurance Corporation and India and autonomous body were abducted by the terrorists from a public park on 23 June in 1991. They were severely tortured and locked in a vacant house of a Hindu migrant. The house was later set on fire. 2 of them died in the fire, while the lucky one was rescued by the police and rushed to the hospital. The same story repeated time and again. The terrorists even started upon setting fire to the vacant houses of the migrants in a systematic manner. On October 9, the Devi temple at Baramulla was set on fire. The roof of the temple was gutted in the fire. The same day, the house of a Hindu was gutted in town about 50 kilometers from Baramulla. It seemed that the terrorists, after killing the entire Hindu population from the Kashmir Valley, wanted to close down any process of return of the Hindu population by burning their vacant houses, their last link with the valley. All this takes a close look at the situation in Kashmir and at Pakistan's own track record as a champion of human rights. Can human rights, essentially a democratic concept, be applied selectively? Whose human rights are being violated anyway? What is Pakistan's own record in respecting human rights and treatment of minorities?